G'day Lawnies, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are jumping into the shed to have a look at backlapping. So I'm going to give you guys a run through on what I do about backlapping my machine and sort of why I do it, the process about it, a couple of different ways you can do it. I'm fortunate enough to have a backlapping machine as well. So we'll run through that and we'll run through another way that the home user can do it with a drill and that sort of thing. So let's get into it. So I've just taken the cover off the Alroh. So with these Alrohs, obviously they are belt driven and train driven. So belt is obviously for the reel itself, and then also there's a couple of belts back in under there which I need to replace, and then obviously chain driven for the rear drive as well there. So what we need to do, and with this one I actually got a piece made up from Yard Empire which will sit in here, and then basically that'll give me access for my drill or my machine to basically put the attachment on, and then I can basically turn my reel backwards. So let's set it all up and then get into it. And so this is the piece that I'm talking about. That'll obviously just sit in there, and basically I do need to get a deep socket, but then the socket will basically sit in there. So basically once we've got our adapter on for this, some machines may actually have basically something like a bolt that you can basically just socket straight onto, but for this one here I had to get this made up. And then if you are using a drill, perfect, you can just come on here and then fire away. So that's one way you can do it, but for me I've actually got a machine which frees up my hands to be able to actually do what I need to do at the front of the machine. So this is the machine here. Basically this is my backlapping machine. So all I need to do now is put my little adapter on the end there, grab my socket which is on my drill, put my socket on, and then I can basically put that onto there. But there's one thing I need to do first, so I'll do that before I settle this up. So the thing I want to do first is actually just adjust this reel to bed knife, just back it off just a smidgen. So, because obviously once you put our backlapping paste on, that's also going to help close that gap because it's a thick paste. So we don't need to have it super tight. Obviously you don't want it super tight anyway, but I'm just going to back it off just a little bit, so then when we backlap, we're not having to put extra pressure on because that paste is obviously a bit thick. So let's quickly back it off a smidgen, and then we'll finish setting the machine up and get into it. So now we've got it hooked up there, so that's all hooked in, we're all plugged in. Let's get the paste, get a little brush, and then we can start the backlapping process. So we just want to give this a really good stir before we use it. It's been a while since I've used this last, so give it a really good stir. And there you go, you can sort of see that's 120 grit backlapping paste. So now we're going to do, turn the machine on, which we want to run the reel backwards. So make sure we're all good safety wise here. And run the machine backwards like so. Put a bit on, our brush, and then So now the biggest thing here is you don't have to go lather this up with backlapping paste. You can just sort of put a bit on, let it do its thing, and if you think you need more, go back over and do it again. But the biggest thing here is just letting it run basically until that sound disappears. You just want to keep letting it grind away and do its little bit as it sort of goes. So as you can see now, that sound is basically almost gone. So that means we're pretty much now done. So we can turn it off and then give it a clean up and then readjust it to just exactly where we need it, because we just want it to cut paper. If it means you're just touching or not even really touching, perfect. All we're trying to do is just get it to the point where we're cutting paper, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't overdo it. Just get it to the point where we are exactly cutting paper that first time. Don't over tighten it. Now, as I mentioned before, this can be done with a drill. Obviously, then it becomes sort of a two-hand job where you're using the drill to turn the reel, while obviously then using your paste, and you're gonna be sitting there holding it. That's why if you can find a machine to do it for you, it saves you so much time, so much hassle. I'm so thankful that when I bought this machine secondhand, he gave me that, because it is an absolute lifesaver when doing this. Hands-free, makes it so much easier. You can just apply your paste and then sit back and watch it do its thing. So let's turn it off now, give it a clean up. While we're at it, we will do our chain as well. I've got some Inox MX9, so I'll give that a go over the chain, and then yeah, make sure we're cutting paper, and then we're all sweet to go mow. So after I did a quick hose down and also just give it a quick wipe, removed all that paste, test cut is all good. I did bring the reel to bed knife in a little bit as I let it get a little bit too far probably, but we're cutting paper all good. And then up next I had my Inox MX9 and also some MX4 just to do the chains and the reel itself, just to give it protection. And yeah, now we are all sweet to mow. Alrighty lawnies, that is going to wrap us up there. We've now backlapped our machine. We are all good to go, nice and sharp, ready for our next mow, knowing we will be cutting the grass and not actually tearing it. So we are all sweet, ready to rock and roll. We'll catch you next time.